the magic touch there. Where's the button at that for future?
The power button on the very side.
Okay, so the remote is not working?
The remote is not catching us there, yeah. Yeah, it's just closest on the side.
Bring in the stickers.
Knock those?
What does it look like?
Well, that was helpful. And that's what we should do with everybody, you know. Hopefully, because there's places like that.
Come on. What is it named?
There's only like 5 files in the directory.
Oh, really?
4-H and stuff, I probably didn't do otherwise. I should have. No, some of the you don't have to get that often. Should do that more.
And it would be on OneDrive. Find the root, the C drive. There it is.
This one?
Yeah, on the screenshot. That's it.
Yeah, but isn't that depressing?
And hopefully it'll display correctly and not upside down and backwards.
You know, that includes all the roads.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We'll put it on the desktop.
You want me to make a copy for you? Okay, because the way it is now, this is what it is. If you have- This is the retail.
So, at our commission association in September, there was a community school, and these guys that are off the school,
One size. Yeah, that's
wanted to be legislators.
I mean, it's just from Washington. This does. This is. Yep.
There are only 2 voices in G. Haven't seen anything at all. Mike's a good guy. Because they have state interest. You know, they work their job.
Well, and I just, I don't know, I just, that, then at some point, some of these, West River counties, some of these northern, eastern counties start failing. And they can figure out what to do. And they can apply for that.
How much, do you know how much? We'll see what happens.
When it goes to the state. Well, I mean, when we got
And
that.
then if it does,
Outside, like city limits, up the lake here, all except in Yankton, every penny of that goes to the state. They have, and we have to pay for it. The state can't. Wanda.
I have to go over there.
Yeah.
Why do I have to go over there when I can sit right here?
Because you gotta, wherever you can best control your group at. That's-
You are the leader.
Yeah,
Right
that's,
here in the
because that's called the hot seat.
We don't know if he's showing up.
That's called the hot seat.
Well, you got 3 minutes.
It's, no, it's, wait, is it that long? Oh, I got 6 o'clock now.
Oh, yeah. Clock here. What do you-
Leadership has its responsibilities.
I've heard that.
I did call him and he got no answer. Black Ford ticket, Ford. No, that's a Ram truck.
Pretty big one with a van.
It's a Ram 2500 or something.
Well, I think this.
You're up, Wanda.
I can do it from wherever I want. Microphone's on. Cell phone's off. 6 o'clock. Stand and do the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dan,
Here.
John,
Here.
Ryan,
Here.
Wanda,
Here.
Don.
Is that him? Nope. All right. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any reason to abstain?
I do not.
I do not.
I do not.
I do not. I would ask for an approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
With one addition, I'd like to, we have our new ambulance administrators in attendance this evening. I'd like to introduce him at an appropriate time.
What would be the appropriate time?
You tell me.
Well,
Right now?
depends on how long he wants to stay.
Not very.
All right, then let's put him on, let's put him on as 4B.
4B.
Well, 4C, I guess. Now, with the addition of 4C, which is the introduction of the new ambulance administrator, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All against, say nay. Motion passes. Would anybody like to make a public comment? I will close public comment. Now, Mr. Marquardt, would you like to
I would.
introduce the new ambulance administrator?
Definitely, and I'm kind of excited about the opportunity we have to move forward. I'd like to introduce Eric Van Dusen as our new ambulance administrator. And if he would like to come up and just say a couple of words, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Thank you to the county commissioners for this opportunity. My wife and family we're really excited for this opportunity. I've been a paramedic for over 20 years and served in different roles throughout the state. And as we were going through the interview process, it's kind of nice because I have ties to Yankton. My grandparents used to live here. My great aunt used to live here. And I've got family close by in the area. So it's really nice to be able to come back and serve the communities that they previously lived in. And the hope and angst is to get this EMS agency directed in a correct course of action, I guess. They've got a really strong agency. I'm really proud of what they do. But we want to make it, what it kind of used to be is just, one of the premier services within the state. And I don't think they're that far off from it. I think they're really doing a good job. Just got a few things that we got to polish up around the basis of it. So thank you again for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward to serving the people of Yankton County.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks, Eric.
Next on the agenda is the 2021-2022 audit.
You have to call Marie.
And we are calling the state audit.
Legislative audit.
Hello.
Hi, Marie.
Hi.
You're on
All
speakerphone.
right, I'm all ready. Okay, so the first thing that I am going to be talking about, it starts off with this letter is intended to inform you of matters. It has our letterhead on it. Pretty much what this sheet is it's kind of just a general overview of how the actual audit process itself went. I was auditing years 2020 and 2021. Bottom of that bottom of the paragraph on the first page. No accounting policies were changed during the audit period. No transactions were entered into by the county during the audit period where the board didn't approve those or have a consensus over them beforehand. Transactions were recognized in the financial statements in the proper period. Next page. No difficulties encountered in performing the audit. Everybody's always pretty easy to get along with, working with you guys, which is super nice. Again, no disagreements with management either. Corrected and uncorrected misstatements. There were some recording errors, which I'll look at or talk about in a few minutes, but those were given to Patty and discussed with her, and she looked at them and approved those before they were made. Management representations, that's the next letter that I'll talk about. And then the last thing on this one, the county kind of has the option to obtain something similar to like a second opinion. As far as I know, the county did not do that, so no issues there. The next thing that I'm going to talk about has the county letterhead on it. I see that's not centered, but so this one is from the county's perspective, kind of how the audit went and the county fulfilling your obligations as a county and board during that audit process. So when I say we have fulfilled, that's actually you have fulfilled. You fulfilled your responsibilities as set out in the terms of the engagement letter, which was dated September of 22 for the audit period of 2020 and 2021. The next page, number 2, you acknowledge your responsibility for the design, implementation, and maintenance of internal controls in order to fairly present the financial statements, and then also to put in place internal controls to prevent and detect fraud. 4, you acknowledge your responsibility for compliance with the laws, contracts, and grant agreements. Number 5, you've reviewed, approved, and taken responsibility for the financial statements and related notes again. Sent those to Patty, she looked at them, signed off on them. Number 7, related party relationships were appropriately accounted for. 10, litigation and claims were accounted for. Joint ventures were properly disclosed. Funds and activities are properly classified. 14, components of net position and fund balance are properly classified. 16 and 17, revenues and expenses were properly classified on the financials. 20, you provided me with access to all information. That is true. I was pretty much able to just kind of grab what I needed, and if there's something I couldn't find, somebody was willing to get it for me pretty quickly, so that was nice. Always makes the process smooth. 21, transactions were recorded in the accounting records and reflected in financial statements properly. 22, no knowledge of fraud or any suspected fraud or any allegations of fraud that I was made aware of. Now again, if something's come up since, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. 24 through 20, or 24 through 30 are pretty much the exact same thing that I just said, so I won't repeat it and bore you. 31, the county has satisfactory title to all owned assets. 32, you've complied with all aspects to grant agreements. 33 through the rest of this packet just talks about federal awards and the audit process regarding the federal monies that the county received. You're responsible for understanding and complying with the requirements and for preparing the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. I believe we did assist in that a little bit. Made available to me all federal award monies that you received. And then, yeah, a lot of this is just a lot of words that I don't think it's necessary for me to read to you, but you can look at it if you want. Then the last thing on this one, you are responsible for establishing and maintaining effective internal controls in order to ensure that those federal monies are spent and used properly. So that's kind of the only thing left on that packet. And then the next thing that I'll look at, and actually these last two you can have side by side if you want, the one that has draft across it and then the last one. This one is the management letter, and it kind of details the actual findings of the audit. First page is just a bunch of definitions. So if you want to flip to the second page, deficiencies noted in internal controls that will actually hit the audit report. That's what that draft copy talks about in detail. So the only thing really noted in the audit that is going to actually hit the audit report kind of hits almost every time in multiple places, not just Yankton County, especially with all of those extra grants that the county was receiving. It's difficult to know where those go because it's new. So it's kind of hard to know where things are supposed to be reported at. So there were adjustments that we made during the audit that will hit this finding. It's not a big deal. I mean, Patty has our contact information. She can always contact us to figure out if she has any questions on where to put things. But otherwise, there's nothing else major noted during the audit that's worth talking about to you guys. I guess the detailed description of that one comment is on the second page of the draft paper. Just kind of lays out the details of some of the bigger adjustments that were made. And again, like, just to clarify, all of the money that the county did spend was reported. It was just on the wrong line. So it was all accounted for. It just wasn't in the right spot.
So we got an A minus?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Or just like a low A, maybe.
Yeah, no,
We
That's
won't even
that's-
give you the minus.
Oh,
I think that what I get from this is, with especially all the ARPA dollars and all the federal grants we get, our auditor did an excellent job. And Marie, with I've seen this a lot, external controls, with smaller offices like ours, really, that would have more people working in there and looking over this, right? That's kind of what that generally means for strengthening controls.
can you hear
and-
him? Go ahead.
Not very clearly, no.
That's because he's not using his microphone.
Sorry.
Move it
Sorry.
up.
The strengthening internal controls, is that because we have so few people in the office? Is that one of the reasons for
No,
that?
not necessarily. Internal controls is kind of just, I mean, it's the checks and balances, making sure that things are, I guess for this one specifically, internal controls is basically saying we're making sure that our process of doing things is accurate so that people looking at financial statements are seeing accurate information.
Sure.
I guess really the only help on that would be for Patty to contact us if she has questions when she's making her financial or annual report, or some of the other people in the office, if they're looking at it, also they could say, wait, some of that money was 911 purposes instead of general.
Okay.
Just kind of that checks and balance type thing. It's not.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the audit?
I'd make a motion to approve the 2021-2022 audit.
I'll second.
Motion by Clemish, second by Heine. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All against say nay. Motion passes.
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, Patty, also, one more thing, on the bottom of that draft page, the county does have the option to respond to the comment, otherwise, I know last time that we did the audit, that same comment was made. And it just, I mean, the management, basically it just said management chose not to respond, so if you guys do decide to respond, shoot me an email saying what you wanna say, if not, we'll just leave it as is.
Marie, what does the state charge the county to do the audit?
Our current rate, I believe, is $78 per hour.
So what was our cost?
So how many hours?
What was our cost to do the audit?
I do not, off the top of my head, know how many hours that was
Okay.
with the review time by management, or my manager's looking at it too.
So you guys charge to do the audit, but advice is free? Is that an accurate statement? Like during the year, it's free to call in for advice?
Could you hear him?
I got it as
Not
close
very
as I
well.
can.
The question was, is it free for Patty to call in for advice or the auditor's
Yeah.
office
Hmm.
versus,
So any assistance that we provide outside of the actual audit work itself
is free?
is considered just assistance and it's not billed to the county. So like, when cause I sat down with you when I was there to look at some of those reporting things too, and that was not billed. So that won't be included in part of the audit cost, that's just unbilled assistance.
Thank you.
That's all, any other questions? Hearing none, thank you very much for the audit. I'm glad we got an A.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too.
We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.
Number 6 on our agenda is the Sundance Road District. A Todd Huber.
Hi,
And handouts.
hi, I'm Todd Huber. I live at 31083 Sundance Ridge Road, Yankton, South Dakota. And I'll pull up a map here. I'm seeking approval of a road district for Sundance Ridge Road District. It's located north of the lake in South Zifkuff Township. It consists of 17 residential parcels and 4 agricultural parcels for a total of 20 parcels and a total of 17 owners. All 4 ag parcels are voluntarily assessing themselves under this resolution. All the lots in the entire road have been surveyed. So there you can see where it's located in the lake area. This is a closer view. And that's what I'm seeking approval for, is that road
It's
district.
above the bluff.
What's that?
Above, excuse me, above the bluff.
Above the bluff?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What's the difference between the Sundance Road District and the South Sundance Road District?
Well, I guess the next presenter will probably get into that. What I'm proposing is that all 18 lots or all 17 residential parcels are in this road district. And I believe the next presentation will be that there's just 6 in the road district. And it will be 2 separate road districts. I'm proposing that we keep it as one. And I can explain that at this point if you want me to, or
Yeah.
should we wait until
Please.
they explain?
Please.
Well,
Before you start, Todd, this whole area is proposed, all these properties are the ones that proposed to be in the road district. Can you just trace the road, where the road is with
Okay,
your
yeah.
mouse? So, it's the one going through the, not the red line, but
This is
the, yep.
434 coming
Yep.
up through here from the
Okay.
lake.
Yep.
You can see it right through here
Yep.
on the map. And then right when it hits this road, right when it hits here, this is Sundance Ridge Road.
Okay,
And this is the road, it curves up,
okay.
goes up to the north,
Mhm.
and goes all the way up to 310 and Cedar Hills Road up here.
Okay, so that's where it would terminate at
Right,
that?
it would be this,
Okay.
this entire road.
Got it. All right, thank you.
And so here's all the parcels along there. And here's the ag parcels, like this is an ag parcel here, 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 and one right there. So, do you want to go into, like, I want to, I guess I was going to let the second presenter present his pitch on the first 6, and then I would say what I have to say after that, if I could come back up again.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. So you folks are gonna clear your road and tend to it, and the folks below in the South District are gonna tend to their portion?
No, I propose that we have it as one road district for all the owners.
Oh, instead of 2?
And what they're proposing, it gets splits into 2 different road districts on the same road.
Okay. That's what I was not getting. Okay.
And I can go into, I've got more presentation I want to give on why we should keep it as one. Okay.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so Sundance Ridge Road was built in 2006 through 2009. I built it, my wife built it to access the lots and parcels that are in Sundance Ridge development. I've been maintaining the road for the last 14 years, and I'm getting close to retirement. And so now I decided I need to attempt to establish a road district. And so that's what I'm proposing right there. The 6 residents that are proposing to separate off of that, they want to split off a South Sundance Road District and create their own road district. I guess kind of a rhetorical question on that is that can Yankton County residents just pick and choose what roads they want to pay taxes on or portions of roads? So that would be one question. My second point is that, I'll pull up another map here. The BY water line, is there a way to make this smaller?
That would be a Commissioner Heine.
What's that?
That would be a Commissioner Heine question.
Rather than,
I guess I can
Zooming
roll
out.
the screen up and down here, but BY Water supplies the water to our development, and it comes down from Highway 50 and Highway 52. The tank is in the upper left-hand corner. It comes down from the north and comes down Cedar Hills Road and then goes into Sundance Ridge Road. Or Sundance Road District would be the red box right there, or odd-shaped configuration right there. Right in
Kind of like the boot.
Yeah, right. So this is where the BY water line comes in, goes all the way down into Sundance Ridge, it supplies the water for all the lots. And so one of the reasons I feel it should be one road district is that I think everybody in that area is responsible to maintain that road so that BY Water can maintain the BY water line. So that's one of my points on why it should be one road district. Another point I have is that the residents that live in the proposed South Sundance Ridge Road District have only contributed about $300 in the past 10 years for maintenance of the road, and that was just in the past month. My concern is that they will not properly maintain that part of the road that they propose to maintain, and as a result, the main road district would have to maintain the entire length of Sundance Ridge Road. Another point I have is that the 6 residents that want a South Road District either haven't built a house yet. There's 3 like that. 2 of the lots are the second home, and the one other lot, the person is retired. And for them, there's no urgency to move snow on their proposed section of the road. So as a result, the residents of the main road district would need to move the snow from the entire length of Sundance Ridge Road. And I guess my final point is that the idea of establishing a road district is not a surprise to any of the property owners at Sundance Ridge Development. Each owner signed a road maintenance agreement at the time of purchase. This signed agreement states that the property owners will form an association of some type to provide maintenance to Sundance Ridge Road. I realize that it's not the responsibility of the county to enforce road maintenance agreements, but I'm just pointing out that I've never attempted to hide anything or mislead any of the property owners. The road maintenance agreements was originally intended to prevent problems with establishing a road maintenance for the road, but I guess that isn't necessarily working all that well. So that's kind of my presentation. Any questions? And I can put that other map back on the screen here.
So you have 17 residential and 6 who do not want to be a part of yours.
That's correct.
And are they in the lower portion of your map?
I'm guessing that Bob will probably present that, but yes, it is right at the beginning. So it'd be like right, it'll be these.
There's a map that clearly defines it.
On the next, under Bob Curry.
It'll be these lots down there, the 6 lots that are proposing to split off.
Oh, the green lots
Well,
on his,
yeah, these 4 up here and these 2 down here.
any questions of Mr. Huber right now?
I guess the only question, and I would presume that if we make one road district, you're gonna provide the maintenance and everything else to make sure that the property owners that own Sundance Ridge Road District, the developers, are gonna maintain the entire road versus stop at the first 6 lots.
Right, yeah, it would be 1 road district.
Yes.
Yep.
Any cost estimation
What I'm estimating is about $15,000 per year.
divided amongst 17 or 17 plus the 4 agricultural?
It would be including the agriculture, it would be all the lots, it would be 21 parcels that would be divided over the $15,000.
Okay,
How many developed lots are past the first 6 lots? How many are developed?
All the lots have been sold.
All of the lots have been sold, but how
And
many
right
have been
now, there are
developed on?
houses on, I believe, 10
10,
lots.
okay.
And so there's still 6 lots that have not been developed, and there's no houses on the ag land.
Yeah,
So the split on the values, the first 6 lots compose of assessed value, they compose about 30% of the assessed value. And the rest of the lots are 70% of the assessed value. And the total assessed value is in the neighborhood of about 4.9 million.
any other questions before we hear from Mr. Curry?
Okay. Thank you.
Then we'll have Mr. Curry come up.
Yeah, a little slow, but I'll get there.
It's not a race.
I'm Bob Curry. I live at 31070 Starview Drive in the Sundance Ridge District, Lot 4 up there. One minor thing that doesn't really matter is Mr. Huber referred to everyone having a road maintenance agreement. He neglected to file one with the Register of Deeds for Lot 4. So we do not have that. But that's not the point.
I keep popping up on you.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I can't slide it in.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, as you can see, the amount of road that the first 6 people in the development use is minuscule. It's basically 1/6 of the entire road. And the roads, the part that he's wants us to all participate on, up from lots 10 on up, that road did not even exist when the original owners bought the original 6 properties. And he made a statement to one of our residents that he had no plans to develop any more lots past Lot 8. And that was back many, many years ago. So we're having a problem with having to take care of a road we will never use. We're fine taking care of the road ourselves, which we are doing right now. We're grading the road, we're cutting the grass back, we've got gravel prices lined up, we're ready to move forward and take care of that part of the road. We also know that everybody in the other 10, 12, however many lots are gonna use our road without contributing to that maintenance. And we're okay with that. Probably the single biggest reason that we have are against being part of that district is that we have tried to work with Mr. Huber and the other members of the road district. We've asked for face-to-face meetings so we could sit down and iron out our differences and get something that was fair. We were refused that. We asked to have a face-to-face meeting with the attorney that is helping him develop that road district. We were told we could not do that either. He kept us waiting in the wings basically for 2 weeks to find out whether or not we were going to get a meeting with the attorney, when in fact he ran down here and filed the paperwork for his road district without giving us any notice. So there's a basic trust issue that we're having a problem with. We will never have a majority. We will never have any say in how the taxes are levied or what is spent on the road to fix it, if it's all one district, which is probably the single biggest reason that we disagree with that. Let's see, we've made countless suggestions of things that, different ways that the road district could be set up, including benefit of use, the tax assessment that he wants to do. I don't remember what the others are right off the top of my head, but there were several of them, and we've presented all of those. We were basically told that it could not be done in the county of Yankton. I've talked with Gary Vetters about it, and they can be. He even sent paperwork to Todd originally about the West 11th Street Road District, which Todd did not send out to any of the members of the entire road district, as far as I know, because it doesn't suit his narrative. So that's another reason that we're having an issue. But we've tried. We just can't seem to come up with anything that works. Let's see what else I got here. There were a lot of, this has been an email chain thing that's been going on since April 1st, basically. I have copies of that if the commission would like to see them, to see all of the misrepresentations that were made and my counterpoints to those misrepresentations. To my knowledge, I did not make a single misrepresentation. I got the information direct from the codified files or from the county auditor's office. And one of the things that is an ongoing thing, Hubers keeps saying that they're going to put gates in the road area to keep the public out, which they know as well as everybody does, you can't do that. And you can't do it in a road district. The current road is dedicated on the plat to be for public use forever. So you pretty much can't tell people they can't use it. We are currently, the 6 of us are currently maintaining that road. Basically, at the moment, it's 3 of us. It's the Smiths, the Currys, and the Christiansons, because the Petersons are doctors in Sioux Falls, and they can't make it down here, and they just own some dirt right now, as far as they're concerned. Rick and Carly Harold live in Mitchell, so it's kind of hard for them to get down here to the meeting. And Bill Christensen would have been here tonight, but he got called away on business. So between us, between the Schmidts, myself, and Bill Christensen, we have decided that if we get approved to proceed with forming our road district, we have already lined up somebody to do the gravel. We've already lined up somebody to grade the road, and we've had Louis Johnson come out and grade the road once already. And we've already contracted with John New of New Pond Landscaping for snow removal for the next year, because we know the road district won't be able to kick in and take care of that for a while. So among the three of us who have houses there have decided we are going to foot the bill to put the gravel down and make sure the road is the way it should be done. Does anybody have any questions?
And when you say the road, you mean
The-
your
the-
anticipated road?
The 3/10 of the road.
Okay.
From a financial standpoint, they're thinking $15,000 a year for all 1.8 miles. We're thinking $3,000 a year just for our 3/10. Comments have been made in the latest email chain that isn't enough money to maintain that part of the road. The $3,000 isn't. But 3/10 of a road and $3,000 is $1,000 per tenth. $15,000 for 1.8 miles of road is $833.33 for each tenth of a mile. So I would propose the fact that we have more funds available right now than they're proposed to have. The section of road that we are looking to take care of, also, which we've already started doing, is not in as bad a condition as the back road is. The back road has been proposed by a couple of people that they're gonna need culverts, it's gonna need regrading, redesigning, countless groups of gravel for deliveries, and it's probably gonna be way more than $15,000 to get that done. I'm not sure that the residents up there know that. I believe I brought that point up during the email chain, but you don't know if anybody's looking at them or reading them or not, so. I've talked individually with each one of the 6 people, and they are all aware, and they are unanimous.
Your
and
6 people.
Our 6 people.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
yeah.
that's all right. I'm just,
Yeah, well, it's good to
Clarifying.
clarify. Yeah, no, and they are unanimous in forming our own road district.
so of the other 15 owners, do they primarily go out, what I'm estimating is the top,
No,
the north? They drive down the road and come out yours?
they're driving down the road, they're gonna go through our section. We know that they're going to use our road without contributing to the maintenance of it,
And you're okay with that?
and we're okay with that.
Bob, am I correct in saying you're not opposed to being in one district, but you just want more input? I mean, is that an accurate statement?
I don't think that's what he's
Or
saying.
at this point, you just want out, or?
At this point.
At this point,
we-
okay.
You know, I would say up until probably a month ago,
Okay,
we were of that mind.
okay. I just,
And because of the things that have happened that are not, at
okay,
least in my book, above board and the way things should be.
sure.
And the other members have said that
Yeah.
they just don't wanna do it.
Yeah,
Because we don't feel we would ever be treated fairly.
Okay. I just, per Wanda saying you're gonna have all of that traffic going through yours and, you know, potentially those other areas could develop and you might have a lot more traffic
That's
on
true.
your road than even is here now, and that's
Yep.
only your responsibility, and as planning for the future, I just don't know if that's the best idea for the future of the county. So I get what
Well,
you're saying,
one of
and
the other-
I understand.
I do too, but, so what kind of assurance do we get? Or does lot number 9 or 10 get, that when they need to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, that road's gonna be open? Is there a guarantee that that road's gonna be open?
Yeah, according to John Newpon, yes, they already do, Marina Del and Calumet. I said, running around to do ours is a piece of cake. And they start at 2 o'clock in the morning. And they have we can set the snow threshold wherever we want, but normally he said it's set at 2 inches. Anything under 2 inches, they don't roll out and start clearing the road. But once it hits 2 inches, then if we get another 2 inches, they clean it again. Another, they clean it again.
I hope we don't have a winter like we had last winter.
Well, yeah.
It was tough.
And we already have a verbal contract with them to do it, because we assumed that this was going to be easier than it has been. And we wanted to make sure that we were covered for next year, because you have to get on the docket pretty early with all those companies, or you don't get taken care of. And Louis Johnson will do all the grading on our road up there.
I thought,
We have 3 different gravel,
didn't
and
he retire? I thought he retired.
he's building that.
He
road
does
on
what he
section
wants
line.
to
Yeah,
do.
Louis does what he wants to do.
When he wants to do
I'm
it.
surprised he's not here
When
today.
he wants to do it. No,
That's what retired people do.
yeah,
Fortunately, he still likes me.
yeah. There you go.
So let's assume for purposes of hypothetical that, and I don't know who owns the rest of this, Sundance Ridge LLC, that they develop what's now agricultural and is 11 and 10 and all that space in between.
Yep.
Wouldn't that reduce the cost to the lower 6?
It would reduce the cost of the people that are in the upper 12, but they're also going to end up paying for that road, according to what I've read about the formation of a road district. So if he puts another 40 lots in there and builds roads to service them, that road district is going to pay for that road. Because there isn't anything that the county has that says that the developer has to bring the road up to any particular code before they turn it over. And since he's included that other 200 plus acres as part of the road district, we're very concerned about that in the future. We would be less concerned if it just followed the road in the 66-foot wide all the way down. That's a whole different ballgame.
Is the ag property in your road district, right?
Yes, it is.
So they will be paying for the road district anyway. They'll pay more if it's developed with housing.
Yes.
So
I don't know if they all know that or not.
does the road pretty much follows the blue line, is that correct, Todd?
Yeah.
And is that road already established?
Yes, it is. And there will be no other roads that leaves housing, roads.
Should probably have him come up if he's gonna tell us.
Yeah, I guess you should come up to the microphone if we're asking questions now for both, I guess. Is that okay? Sure.
Well, that, for our home viewers, yes.
Okay.
Did you want me to get your chair, Bob?
The,
Okay,
me
Mr.
pull up.
Huber's back up.
pull this back up here. It's a little clearer on this other screen here.
And Rob, while we have a second there, the county doesn't have to approve a road district, correct? I mean, it's something we may, you know, from me reading the codified law, we may do it, but is that something that we have to do? We have to do it.
It's ministerial, meaning if
Okay.
they jump through the hoops, you have
Okay.
no discretion.
Okay.
But Dan, the question comes down to the definition of the boundaries, if you're defining the boundaries within the district, because you have two competing road districts
Yeah,
in the same spot who are applying at exactly the same time.
yeah.
So the answer is, because we ran into this before, because there's been issues about whether you can do a road district or not, but the answer is if they comply, then you have to follow the rules, and it just says it shall happen. You know, if they
Your
follow.
light's not on.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, okay. Didn't look
on.
like it from here.
Back on.
I thought in here it says may, but I'll take your advice. And then according to, once it becomes a road district, it's public access for everyone, so people can't be excluded. Anybody can drive on it, even if they're, the public has every right to drive through there. So once it's a part of a road, correct? Okay.
So this proposal is just for this road right here, just where the BY water line would go along, that would be the road district. I know Bob was originally.
That's your 21
What's that?
parcel. That's
Yes.
your 21 parcel proposal.
That's the 21 parcels, yes. And I know Bob was proposing that he wanted his driveway in that road district because there's several houses that divide off of that. And I said, no, the road district is only the main road, not the side chutes off the driveways. So no, it won't extend. I don't have any plans to develop any of that agricultural land to the left of that. But even if it was, it wouldn't be included in this road district.
So
It would
are
be
you-
separate, it would be driveways.
So it
So-
would not be included?
It would not be included, well.
So
they'd be
40
pa-
more people build houses up there, they'd get to drive down the road district that
They
you're
would be still
proposing?
contributing, they would be contributing because they would be in this road district here. But if there's driveways that go, like say there's roads that go back in here, and feed 2 or 3 lots, those driveways they'd be responsible for, but they would be contributing to the road district, to the overall road district. They would still be, so then what would happen, so say our budget is $15,000 for that road, it would be divided over, instead of 17 owners, now it'd be divided over, say, 27 owners. So you'd be paying less once there's more people in it. It won't be like we're gonna be paying for their driveways.
Have you talked to Solacek about culverts and the necessity?
We have culverts, every low spot has a culvert, and I'm not sure what Bob was talking about when he's talking about that more culverts need to go in. The road was built to county specs when it was put in, and it has culverts at all the low spots. I'm not aware of any place that there's a problem where more culverts need to go in the road. And in fact, the north part of the road is in better shape than the south part is right now, because the north owners, they contributed some money. This was about a year and a half ago. They contributed about $7,000 or $8,000 to rebuild their portion of the road on the north end, to put gravel and rock and gravel on it.
And they still drive out the south end?
They drive out of both ends. It's about half and half.
So,
But the mailboxes are up, the mailbox is right here.
At the
And so
bottom?
everybody at some point needs to pick up their mail.
Yeah.
It may be once a week, twice a week or something like that. But these people that live up here mostly go up here and go up Cedar Hills or down 310. Some may come up this way, but they do not all come up this way.
310's a county road.
well,
310
except
is not
for
a county road.
the
310
James
is
Way,
right.
which is offset.
Except what?
That James Way is that offset road on 310. That has been an issue in the past.
Okay.
Cedar Hills Road is up here, and that's a road
Which
district
also
up here.
brings us to a point, so we are looking at a full section here too, the south border of that section and the west border of that section. Those are section lines. What happens if there's a road that's put along on those section lines? I believe those, a lot of times those would end up, the county would be responsible for. And then what if people
We'd have
start
ask
to
the
have,
State's attorney on that. I think we'd
Yeah.
have to approve that by resolution to take that over, though. Isn't that correct, Rob? Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not ours unless we take them on, I believe. He'd be the one to.
Mr. Curry, did you have something you wanted to add?
No.
But you should step up so our at-home viewers can hear.
No, we have driven up, the entire road just to evaluate it and stuff, and I would say right now, I wouldn't say the north end is better than the south end. It isn't, but the north end is not as bad as it was 2 years ago. And, as far as Skyline and Starview, that was a personal choice of our road district. If we do that, we will include those offshoots as part of the road district, and they will get maintained. So, provided everybody in our group votes to do that. You know, we've talked about all of this stuff. And the only thing I can really say is that all of the six of us pretty much are like-minded in what we want to do, how we want to do it, and providing the maintenance and taking care of the road. We tried repeatedly to come up with an evaluation system or something that would treat the six of us as fairly as the people that are scattered out over the other 1.5 miles of road, and just couldn't come up with anything. The Schmitz will be, whatever the levy is set at, if it's done on property values, will pay the most of anybody in that district, if it's one district. And they use the least amount of the road. And when they moved in, they were told there would be nothing developed beyond Lot 8. And they're here tonight to verify that if we need to. So that's why I don't have any confidence in the fact that the rest of that land up there will not be developed at some point.
As far as the comment that there was no intent to develop that, that's a false statement. The road was actually completed prior to them buying their lots. And the BY water line was put in before they bought their lots. So no one ever told them we weren't developing beyond lot 7 or 8, whatever number he had.
But there was a gate and a cow path. There was no development.
There was a road there and the
Not
BY
when
water.
we bought.
Yes, there was. There was a road there. And actually, lots 8, 10, and 12 were sold prior to that, which are up further north of where the gate was put in because we were trying to keep extraneous traffic off the road that didn't need to be driving back there. That's the only reason there was gates back there. But every intent was to develop all of that. And like I said, the BY water line came in from the north, so you had to have a road there, and I wasn't gonna put 1.5 miles of BY water line in or road without developing it. That just wouldn't have made sense.
Is there anything we could do to get you guys to, come together on this? I think we all maybe agree, in the county's interest and the future interest, it would be best if that was all just one piece. And I know you have some concerns and you have some concerns. Is there some type of agreement you could come to? I know you have concerns, you don't want to be taxed more for other developments, and that doesn't sound like that is the case. Is there some type of agreement you guys could come to and then come to us at the next meeting? And I just think that would be better for the future of that than have two districts that I just don't think are gonna work very well together in the future. And if we have to do it that way, that's how we have to do it, but I just don't see it working well. And if you could get the assurances you need and you could get what you need, I don't think you guys are that far apart.
Well, I didn't think we were either.
Yeah, is
When
that,
we originally started doing
Yeah.
this again.
yeah,
But when you make a request to meet
Yeah.
with the group and/or meet
Yeah.
with the attorney that's helping him develop his road district, and we're stonewalled, and basically he refused to even give us the name of the attorney so that we could set up an appointment with them. I don't have a lot of confidence, and neither do my other.
I guess, like I'm paying the attorney out of my pocket. It's not
We
necessarily.
offered to pay for the attorney.
No,
I
we
mean,
never did.
what are the rest of you
did.
guys? I
Want to see
mean,
the email? I got it.
That you were gonna pay for the attorney?
You bet.
But anyway, it wasn't like I was going to pay for an attorney that was going to fight against me. So
Sure,
that was
sure.
why.
That didn't
That
understand.
didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
is there any chance that there's some type of agreement? Because I think it's in everybody's interest if we could make this work somehow. Is there any chance of that? Because I know we've had that a bunch of times in planning and zoning where two neighbors can't get along, but they come back to the next meeting and they have it figured out and it works better for everybody. And I hope we can do that here if it's possible. Is there any chance of that, you guys? I like seeing it when people work together. It's always the best way. But
What about the other 15 people? Where do they stand on this?
Certainly.
Only if you come up to the podium.
31064 Sundance Ridge. I'm about halfway up, and
What lot number? I got a map here.
number 9,
Number 9, okay.
What was your
So-
name, sir?
Wayne, Nestle. So I purchased my lot 2018, something like that, built in 2019. Roads needs maintenance. We need to fix that, okay? These two guys, they send emails out, right? But whatever the commissioner's name is here,
Clemish.
Clemish,
Dan
the
Clemish.
best way to solve this is a single road district. He's got 6 guys voting on, it's like the tail wagging the dog. Okay, everybody else wants a single road district. That's gonna give Bob and the Schmidts and everybody else the fairest treatment. Cause why? It's one person doing the grading, one person doing the snow removal, one person doing it. We're gonna get treated the same, Bob. Right? And if you're not, guess what? I'm not gonna be happy either, because then that means it's affecting me. Not everybody goes to the south, right? I see UPS come in from the north down to the south. Emergency management, the ambulance dude was here a little bit earlier. He may wanna come in from the north to get to the south.
You might have to.
The right way to do this is a single road district. It'll treat everybody fair. I realize there's some differences and there's some questions that have been raised that maybe didn't get answered the way people wanted to.
I have a question.
So let's get it together, one road district.
Will you guarantee that we will have face-to-face meetings with the attorney?
I'm not in charge
and all
of this,
of us?
but I will
Exactly,
be
that's the
there.
problem.
I will be there and probably be a loudmouth over it, but I will be there and participate. I'm looking for your interest, I'm looking for his interest, because those are my interests. And I think they're everybody else's interests. So we want the same thing.
Well, I think the part that
Thank you.
is not the same thing is the what I'll call the offshoot roads, the Starview Drive.
Nah, those have never been, they're driveways. And I think I heard Bob just admit it, that was a personal request he put in. Even though the email suggested otherwise, it's good, they're off the table. They're his personal driveways. They're not part of the road district. They never have been. We've never considered them. Right?
I know that you
Otherwise, I got a 300-foot driveway. Throw mine in there. Everybody has a long driveway. They'd want it in there. Nobody else asked for that.
your driveway does not have a street name or an address on it.
Okay, well,
Starview has 2
I'm not the developer.
addresses.
I'll let Mr. Huber address
Yeah,
that. Thank you.
Exactly. But USPS considers those 2 roads streets.
The only reason those 2 streets have names is because the sheriff's department wanted names on those so that in an
They
emergency.
can find them.
In an emergency, they can find them rather than looking for numbers. And you have 2 sets of numbers going up the same road. And so that was a request by the sheriff's department. That doesn't mean that's a part of the road district just because it's a named street.
Certainly. Do you want to sit down?
I'm Tim Rage. I'm Lot 7.
Okay. So
I'm-
you wouldn't be in the separate road district?
No, and I don't know why, but.
Do you want to be?
Because no, I want a single one.
Okay, well,
But-
that's why I'm asking.
Yes, but I'm on, there's Starview and what?
Skyline.
Skyline, yeah. I'm too damned old, I forget stuff. But anyway, it's important that I'm 31067 Skyline Drive. Now, Christensen's are just below us, and they're Skyline Drive. The reason for that we had to have a street, was we're the only ones that are 2 people or multiple people that are using the same lane. And what Todd said about the sheriff and the emergency people, we have used the police and the ambulance to come to our house. I like having a street. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not, but I'm the first house that's built in Sundance Ridge that would be in this road district. Is that correct, Todd? I was the first house. Yeah. So before anybody else. I've been maintaining my lane since I built the damned house. I'm 77 years old. I've lived on county roads all my life. I've never seen a county road where they quit at my ranch and nobody else gets, it's, everybody's got to be treated the same. We're neighbors, for God's sake. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
My name's Jim Schmitz, and I own the lot at 31084, Lot 3. When we bought our lot 15 years ago, they told us 1 through 8 would be developed. There would be no more lots. We don't want the traffic. We want to keep this all back here for hunting. And I had to sign a road agreement to keep that road up. Todd said we never offered anything. We offered him many times money to help pay for the road. Would not take it. Since I've been there, there's been 1 load of gravel, 1 dump truck of gravel put in front of my road. And then he's worried about we're not maintaining it? What do you call that? None of us 6 will ever go back there. So 5/6 of that mile and a quarter we will never use. I've been back there once the last year to see if any, just on a Sunday to drive, see if there's been any houses built. Why would we go back there? There's 5 of us lots. Now that they're putting that lot on top of Sundance Ridge, lot 1 and 2 can go out the other direction. They don't even have to use Sundance Ridge. And there's 3 of us that come out my driveway, and I'm 600 feet from the top of Sundance Ridge. But they rammed this thing through as fast as they could without telling us so they could get us to pay for that 1.5 miles in the back. And I told them from the beginning, I have no problem with a road district, but you got to be fair. We tried contacting them, emailing them, wanted to talk to their lawyer. I don't even know if they even got one. Would not respond to us. And he told me when we bought it, they'd never build back there. And now he's telling you he'll never add on again back there? I don't believe him. And I drove back there. That road probably needs 30, 35,000 worth of work back there. There's spots, if 2 cars meet, you're going to be in the ditch. And why is that our responsibility? Isn't there where this road's got to be up to grade before he makes everybody else pay for it? It's ridiculous. And we can't even get along now, and we're forming a road district. How are we going to get along if we put it all together? The people up front will never have a say in that road. Never. They will vote us out all the time. And us 6 are going to have to pay 95% of all the money I put in, and us 6 will go to the back of that road. Guaranteed. And he's telling us we never volunteered to put any money in there. Then he's talking about the rural water. That rural water wasn't put in. We had our house up, and then they put the rural water in. So he's lying to you. That road had nothing to do with rural water. And it's just, I get tired of fighting it. It goes, they just rammed this thing through so they'd hurry up and get 5 people to sign without even letting us know. So they got us to pay for it. So now they're fighting us. We want to pay our own, and they even get to use it. We're fine with that. But don't force your back road onto us to pay for it. It's kind of like 18 of us going out and buying a Cadillac, and the people in the back get to drive it, but you poor suckers up front, you got to maintain it and put the gas in it. And that's what it's going to amount to. And there's none of us 6 are going to go back there. Never will. My daughters lived there 8 years and have never drove in that back road. What's the purpose? But we got to maintain it? I was told there's going to be 1 through 8 lots, and that was it. So he lied to us there. And he's probably gonna lie to us again and say there'll never be no lots built back there. And then I think with his agriculture land, I think he can exempt from even paying for the road, because it's agriculture. So he's gonna make all the people in the back, we drove that, and it was 1.6 miles of agriculture land that Todd owns. But we're gonna pay for it. And he's gonna get exempt from paying for it, and the people in the back are gonna have to pay for the rest of the road. And I don't think that's fair. And I told him, I'm fine with a road district, but make it fair. And this is no way from being fair. There's no reason we should have to pay for 1.25 miles of road that we'll never use. And that's why we want to do our own road district, and we'll pay for the front. It'll probably be the best road in the county. But I guarantee you, we're gonna put gravel on it. And there's gonna be a lot of gravel. I don't care putting money on the road. And then when they came to talk to us, they always come up to us, just say, oh, it's just money. What are you guys fighting us for? It's just money. Well, I worked too hard to just say it's just money. You know? I worked my whole life hard. I didn't sit in an office just behind a chair. You know? And I just like to see a separate road district, because I don't know why the front ones would have to pay for the back ones that a road will never use. And I guarantee you, 90% of them are gonna come out the front. They gotta get their mail. So what are they gonna do? Turn around and go back out in the highway and come around the backside? You know darn well, and it's, oh, we're only gonna pick up our mail once a week? Yeah, right. I don't know a person that only picks up their mail once a week. If somebody, unless somebody who don't pay their bills. You know? But that's all I gotta say. But
Thank you.
thanks for your time.
Anything else from the commissioners? Any other discussion?
Maybe we should just make sure we get all the public comment out of the way, you know, if there's
Well,
anyone else.
I thought, I
You-
didn't see any more hands. Oh, I thought he was raising
Yeah.
his hand for another reason.
I only get my mail once a week.
That's why I thought you were raising your hand.
I'm gonna hand these out.
And you are?
I'll give you just a second here.
Thank you.
Well, give her one. Thank you. Oh, he's got enough.
Thank you.
So my name is Adam Shalowski. I'm at 31038 Sundance Ridge, which is lot 14. So further, I'll try to scroll up here. So where this bend is at, that's where my house is. So I bought my lot in 2011 and established my home in 2017. At that time, I was the only home built after the lots that they're speaking of. So where there was a gate, you know, right where lot 7, 8, I'm not sure which, there was a gate there, there is a gate there. It's no longer locked because obviously I have a home back there now. So, built my home in 2017, only house back there. At that time, that road had been barely traveled. It was obviously established, there was gravel on it, the whole 9 yards, but it had been barely traveled. So as you can imagine, not packed down, traffic helps that, obviously, helps and hurts all at the same time. So the first few years that we were out there, we had to endure pretty awful road conditions. That was, the pictures that I sent around here were some of those conditions of that road at that time. At times, my family and I, with young children, had to park at the north gate just to walk home a half mile. That's how bad it was. At that time, I begged the other homeowners to establish some sort of association or district at that time.
The South people?
What's that?
The South people?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So yeah, at that time, only the southern lots had been sold, or established, I should say. So at that time, I asked for the other homeowners to start discussions on this. At that time, it was decided amongst all of us homeowners that the road be brought back to a usable condition at that time, in order for us to keep going down the path of establishing a road district, which I thought was fair responsibility of the developer, right? That was done. Several tens of thousands of dollars of rock
were brought in on that route by Todd with no fees or anything paid by myself or any of the other owners throughout the Sundance Ridge Road. That road is now in great position, great standing. There's one section of the road where the heavy rains and heavy snow melt this last winter have cut in, which was the same could be said on the southern part of Sundance Ridge as well. There were about, I didn't get pictures of those, but there were about foot deep ruts heading right up to, I can't remember which one it is, if it's Starlight or Starview or whichever road that is, but it was in the same condition, and obviously more traveled because of the activity on that part of the road. So to say, and several of my other neighbors are here too that can attest to the condition of the road back there, but it is a far cry from what it was when those pictures were taken, and that's because of the actions that Todd and Lisa made to correct those. So the other point I wanted to bring up as well is that the maintenance and the help with the southern part of the road did not start happening until the last 4 months. The mowing, the grading, all that stuff had not been happening by those homeowners. Myself, Wayne, Todd, many others have spent countless hours on equipment, moving snow, grading the rest of the road to make it passable and usable for all homeowners, including that south route. So, you know, in terms of misrepresentation, I think it's a misrepresentation to start that work and claim that you've been doing that all along, right? We can say that. We can say that we've been doing that all along, not because there's financial benefit for us, not because it personally benefits us in any way. It's because we care about our neighbors, right? We don't want to see
Well, it also keeps you from walking half a mile.
Well, that too.
That's a benefit.
We don't want to see EMS get stuck and have undue delay because they can't get to your house, right? Todd and I are out, Wayne as well, early morning every time it snows, moving snow, right? And obviously Todd is getting to the point where he doesn't want to do that anymore, and that's, you know, why we need to establish this road district, to make sure that that gets done by a professional company and things are maintained in a professional way. The other comment I wanted to make too is that, you know, being part of all these emails going back and forth and everything, we, at the time back in 2017, when we established our house, we were meeting face to face. And there were several blockages put up by Bob and some of the other homeowners on the southern edge at that time that stopped that from going forward. Now, the ultimate stoppage obviously was the agreement to bring that north end of the road back up to you know, good standing in terms of how it was physically. So once we started reestablishing those discussions on establishing a road district, there's been blockage after blockage after blockage. It's seemingly delay tactics. I don't know what the motive is. If it has to do with bringing these other driveways into the mix, I don't know. I'm just here to help my neighbors, and I'm willing to pay to do so. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I see more hands, 3 hands.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Yeah, 2019 was rough. There's,
For
I
everybody.
don't want to have to relive that. That was tough.
Well, my name is Ron McCabe. I live at 31006. It's lot 15 up at the
Okay.
north end. And we built our house a couple years ago. When we bought our lot, we bought it thinking that it was one community.
We signed the paper like everybody else that said
Road
road
district.
maintenance district, but we also signed the agreement on the covenants that said it could be, Sundance could be extended at any time. So, we did sign that. We knew that, we were excited, in fact, having the road go straight through, and we do use it going out the south end. We go down to the lake quite often, almost every day. We have grandkids, we take them down there, they play on the swings, we go on the hikes down there, we go to the businesses. So we do use that road. Most of the time we do go out the north end though. I will say that we built our house thinking that we're going to be one community, and I really wanted to get to know everybody, you know, all the way through. The people that I have met have been wonderful. I talked to you on the email, and that's it. But, you know, everybody's been fine. I'd like to keep it that way. I'd like to see us one community. I think by building up that road as one community, our house values are going to go up, you know, which is important to us because we think it's probably our last house. You know, we're getting up there. I'm retired. My wife is retired. So we'd like it to stay one road. And again, we use both ends. We're not opposed to having the mill levy, whatever that is going to be, to maintain the road. That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We are gonna have to wind this up pretty soon, though. Well, that's all right.
My name is Elaine Schmitz, I'm Lot 3. And I think one of the confusions was, when we bought our property, there was a maintenance agreement that is filed with the county, and it said we are required to maintain lots 1 through 7. And we assume that meant we were required to maintain 1 through 7. In our covenants, like you mentioned, it does say that he could enlarge Sundance Ridge as required. It wasn't a requirement to make Sundance Ridge longer. It was his choice as a developer. It wasn't a requirement. A requirement is like if, say, the city requires you to put a sidewalk in or something like that. So we were under the assumption when we bought our property that we would have to maintain 1 through 7. I am more than happy to maintain 1 through 7. And he said this gentleman said the mowing just started 4 months ago. If you knew my husband, he could mow the whole county. Our 1 block of our road, my son and I, my daughter, we always mow it. Our lot is very manicured. And we would mow up to the mailbox back. We'd mow the neighbors. So that part was mowed. And just the confusion, and we had questions. I've actually asked the Hubers if we could talk to them. They said, no, we have to use the email chain. I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I do not understand why we have to pay for a back part of a road that we didn't know was going up. We didn't get any benefit from. We didn't get any profit from it. And it's a long piece of, you can see it compared to what we have. And it wasn't what we agreed to at the very beginning. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe, I'm going to assume it's Mrs. Huber.
My name is Lisa Huber, and I'm at 31083 Sundance Ridge. Todd and I developed the area. I'm just going to start in at the points. So our road was put in and maintained by private funding through Todd and I, not the homeowners from lots 1 through 6. So I really don't see how control could be given over to them, lots 1 through 6, when we actually put the road in paid for it and have maintained it for the last 15 years. Yes, they did grade the road twice, and they have done some tree trimming, and Elaine is right, they always mow. So I'm really excited to see people be doing additional things in the roadway because it benefits the community as a whole, and that's what we want. We actually put the roadway in with 2 points of entry for safety purposes. Fire vehicles can enter from one end, and they can enter from the other end, whatever is most appropriate. We felt that the proposed system of a mill levy based on assessed value, whether it's a bare lot or an established home, was the most fair for everyone within the development. Not looking at what lots 1 through 6, not looking at lots 12 through 18, but looking at the whole thing. It's most fair for each individual within that system. So lots 12 through 18 could argue that they exit out the north end and don't rarely use the south end, so why should they pay for the south end? So really, we felt it was most fair for the entire roadway. The entire length of the roadway needs to be maintained to allow access for the fire department. Okay, all 17 lots also access the road that passes through lots 1 through 6 for a common U.S. mailbox. That was where the U.S. mail asked us to place the box, was at the front, the south end of the entrance to the development. So that means all of us have to travel on a road that we may or may not have input in terms of maintenance of that road. I will actually have to travel that road on a daily basis because that's my entrance and exit through that area. Lots 1 through 6 have submitted a proposal of how they intend to fund for the maintenance of the road. It allowed for, because they have 3 people who are, have not developed their lots yet, they have 1 retired person and 2 people that are part-time owners. They allowed mostly for manpower. So what they have submitted for was someone to plow, someone to grade, and that was $2,200 of their proposed $3,000 of budget. They allowed $400 only annually for gravel. So we all know that that's not a lot in terms of gravel for a length of road. Okay, my proposal is that it is a one Sundance Ridge Road District covering lots 1 through 18 to help sort out this roadway. And I've been a taxpayer for many years, and I've never seen an opt-out button where you get to opt out on the taxes that you pay. So I think that this is our second time of attempting to establish a road district. We tried it several years ago. As Adam had mentioned, there were many roadblocks that were put up. We did rework the road. Todd and I paid for that privately to try to get that established. Now it's a second time to establish a road district, and we had been promised after that initial rework attempt that everyone would be happy to sign the road maintenance agreement, and it's not coming out to be that way. We have done face-to-face meetings in the past, and that didn't work out well for us. This allowed us, through emails, it's allowed us to think about our responses and make them the most appropriate. And it's also allowed everyone to see and hear everything. We also allowed email contact with our attorney because that was his request, is email.
And who would that person be?
It was on the email.
Mrs. Huber?
I will happy show you.
Who was that person?
We have not named our attorney. We have an attorney, but we have not named him.
Do you have an objection to, I'm going to call him the South Six meeting with your attorney if they pay for that?
If they are paying for it, that's fine.
Well, obviously your attorney would represent you, and obviously you and whomever would be welcome to be there. But maybe that would facilitate working out what they have as concerns.
Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah, that's what we asked for.
Are you in agreement with that? What I'm asking is, are you in agreement with paying for the attorney if we all meet with him?
I'm sorry?
We have already paid for an attorney because we were so concerned about this, and you would not talk to us.
Is there a problem with the attorneys and you all sitting down to see if you can work this out? Because my proposal would be that we has been you, not me, try to work this out, and we bring this up at the next meeting to see if anything has been done, because we have a lot of summer left, thank goodness, and maybe we can get this done.
I think that's. the
Is there a
be-
motion?
The best, I would say we just have this on the next meeting, and our hope is you guys are not that far apart, I don't think, and our hope is you could come together and get the assurances you need and the assurances you need, and I think in the end, you would all be happier if you could find some way to work together.
Okay. I will contact Elaine and get the name of your attorney, and then we will establish a meeting time for all of us.
Meeting?
Is there any issue with that, Rob, pushing it to the next meeting?
Is that the
Why don't we
18th?
do that?
18th of
Unless-
August?
any objection?
July.
July.
If you don't think that's enough time, we can move it to the first Monday or the first Tuesday of August.
Maybe
I think that would be
better.
more reasonable.
Yeah.
The first Tuesday of August? Do you know
Yes.
what number that is?
I think I don't know why I think it's the second, but
I
I left
can-
my
I
phone
got
down
it.
there, so
I
I
got
can't
it.
even look.
8/1 is the first Tuesday.
Yep.
August 1st is a Tuesday?
August 1st.
8/1.
Okay.
Will that work?
Is that okay with you, Elaine? Bob?
Am I seeing yeses?
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank
before
you.
we close this on this, as you know, when I was looking into this a lot, there is quite a few laws pertaining to the road districts in the state law. And there's other counties that do have like full-on guides on road districts, and given our road situations and road maintenance situations between neighbors in multiple places in our county, I don't know, Gary, is it maybe feasible that we have, create a sort of a packet to help guide these road districts through to hopefully maybe prevent more arguments like this, so that people can feel more assured of how they're going through?
There's a packet from the 11th Street, isn't there?
Yeah, but making
Yes,
something that's generic.
there's been a number of people that I have sent a packet basically stating all the state statutes and everything, so
Yeah.
that's already been
Okay.
happening,
And,
so.
yeah, and Gary brought up a couple of years ago that needed to be done, and then in our subdivision ordinance, there's a lot of upgrades to that in regards to roads that Mr. Vetter did. This, I think, is, predates that, but, yeah, excellent points. I think Pennington County has a really good
And I have,
one, yeah.
most people, when they want to come in to check on a road, I have all instructions and the laws. And
All the stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh, there's a hand in the back.
Just ask the question, what if, there is no resolution and,
Well, we'll be back here on 8/1.
well, I mean, how do they decide? What's the, I mean, if Todd and at least the South Sundance Ridge did it correctly, and Sundance Ridge Road District did it correctly.
Well, I can only speak for myself, but I think probably the other commissioners would agree that we would like to look at all of the information and all the statutes so that we know, because,
It's unusual.
oh, yeah,
Very much so.
I just,
yeah.
Yeah, normally
I think it's
not
gonna,
just,
constant, there's gonna be constant tension with two different road districts, I think, and if you guys can come together and work out, I really don't think you're that far apart, and find something where you can work together, I think it's gonna be better for you all long-term, and I think that's kind of what Wanda mentioned, so hopefully that'll happen on August 1st, when we see you
And-
guys again. And when you do form a road district, you're gonna have your own public meetings and hearings and elected officials, so you guys will.
And I
you guys will
agree
have-
Stop
too,
with that
'cause-
pen business.
And I agree, because we, up here as commissioners, we have to also think, what's the best for the Yankton County, and
For the long
a
term.
longer,
yeah.
on the long term, and I think a long-term vision of a single road district is definitely what we would prefer, and we'd like to see that worked out among the neighbors.
Yep.
Hopefully that can be done.
Yep.
And on that note, Mr. Vetter, item 8, employee
So-
handbook.
Yeah, so a couple commissioners requested that I bring this forward. This is something that we were talking about in our commission assistant meeting. There's a number of counties that have had a number of people asking about bringing various pets to the office and things, and so this is just something that we could put in the handbook if you choose.
Publish it. Don't we have to publish it?
I don't think so. You just have to motion.
I would make a motion that we include this animals in the workplace policy into our county handbook. And I would also move that we enforce it as strictly as possible.
Do we need, is this something that's needed? Has it been an issue?
Anything that
or-
goes in the handbook.
No, I mean, is this is
Yes,
something
there
that's
are
required?
animals in the workplace.
Okay.
The 24/7 coordinator brings her dog, for example. It's an emotional support dog, as I understand. Or maybe,
And as long as it is an emotional support dog, that's,
I-
and we have,
I get that, but we don't have a policy right now, so I could bring my dog here
And Rob,
and my
have
cat.
you guys had a
and
chance
have a
to
lovely
look
day.
over this?
Do I have a second?
I'll amend the motion to make sure that Rob approves the
Well, maybe,
amendment.
well, if you guys, have your office had a chance to look this over yet?
Not yet.
Maybe
I
we
think
give them
should
time to do
Give them
that.
time to look at this first
And
and
then
then make sure.
So shall we
No
put,
hurry if you want to
Yeah.
wait till the next meeting.
so shall we put item 8 on the agenda
For
for
next week,
Yes.
next time.
the next time, whenever the next
Yes.
time is?
That's fine.
Yes.
Sounds good.
I'll retract the
I
motion.
didn't get a second.
All right.
so you're good.
It dies for lack of a second. Item 9, the first reading of the Bornitz rezone.
So there's 6 lots that have been here since 1992 on Highway 13 that couple of them have been purchased and one's going to have a house, and makes sense to rezone them with the size that they are to R2. And the applicants in attendance, if anyone has any questions.
Is it the yellow house? Any other questions?
I am Margot Berman. I live on, it's Highway 314, not 13. I live right across from these 2 lots that were rezoned.
I'm sorry, Patty didn't hear your full name.
Margot Merman.
And you live across the street?
Across the highway.
Okay.
We were here several weeks ago to rezone those first 2 lots. And
You were at the planning commission meeting?
we
I
were
assume?
here, yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then apparently that went through, and then we got this letter saying they're rezoning the other 4. There are 2 meetings on that. What, I guess I'm concerned, is this going to be all housing as was discussed before?
If they're rezoning it to residential.
R2, correct.
Then my assumption would be they're hoping to sell lots and make it residential.
What-
But that would be the man to ask that question to,
Yes.
Mr. Vetter.
Yes, that is the plan.
Well, I believe they're already plotted out.
Yeah, they've
I
been
mean,
platted out
they-
since I said
Yeah, so the-
1992, yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Why would there be 2 meetings?
Well,
There's
there has to
actually
be a
three.
first
There's
reading and then
actually
a
3.
second
Yeah, you
reading.
have a planning commission meeting, then you have a first meeting.
First
and then we have
reading and
another
second
So
reading.
there's actually 3 meetings.
First reading then?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there'll be another one at the next meeting, 10 days, minimum of 10 days from now, so it'll be another one.
Okay, so we're still talking the same,
Yes, same 6 lots.
okay. That was what I was wondering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Then I would take a motion to go into
There'll be
board
no
of,
motion, Madam Chair, on this until the next meeting?
We need to go into.
No,
she was
a
asking
motion for go into
Oh,
Board of
sorry.
Adjustment.
I'll make the motion that we
Second.
go into Board of Adjustments.
Moved by Commissioner Markworth, seconded by Commissioner Flemish.
Thank you.
Back to Mr. Vetter on item 10.
We have a conditional use permit for fire and ice. The applicant's in attendance. You have the findings of fact to go through, and you can, if there's any questions, she can answer them for you.
I have a question. How tall is it? I'm a visual
We have a small
person.
point of order. We didn't actually vote on the Board of Adjustment.
What?
We didn't actually vote. on the
Well,
Board.
but I just have a question.
Aye.
No, to go into Board of Adjustments, we need to.
Oh,
vote
I'm
on-
sorry. My bad.
Aye.
We take a vote on whether or not we should go into Board of Adjustment. All in
Aye.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against, say nay. Now we're in Board of Adjustment. I'm sorry. Now with my question, how tall is it?
3 feet 1 inches, 5 and
How,
16ths.
how tall is it above the, so when you pull out of Pay and Pack or Pack and whatever it is, the convenience store there,
Yeah.
will it block any visual? I mean,
No.
I mean,
What do
is
you
it
mean
high enough
visual?
off the ground that people can see?
Yeah, just it's like right on top of the enter exit door. It's on top of
Oh,
the
it's on there.
It's on
Oh,
the
I thought-
roof,
I
yeah.
thought you were gonna
There's
replace,
no.
I also thought you were gonna replace that one.
Oh, the billboard? Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Okay,
But we are replacing that one. Nope, this one goes on top of the building.
yeah. well,
Gary, it looked like the planning commission put a .3
It's already there.
foot candle
Yeah,
limit.
it's on.
What, is that?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that the
per the overlay district, and it's 27.
Okay. No issue with that? That'll work for
No.
you? Okay. Alrighty.
And I believe the only other question was, you stated at the planning meeting that it was gonna be turned off at 10 o'clock at night or something like that.
Yep, we can turn it off at night if needed.
I think, wasn't that included in the findings of fact? So, yes,
Do I need
Okay,
to
so we
read
have
those?
to turn it off when we close.
What,
that's fine.
yeah,
I
what's
just-
your
I just
operating
remember
hours?
what-
Huh?
What's your operating hours?
7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh, okay, so they probably said 10 PM, because when you're closed, then you can.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
we can do that.
First, I gotta find them.
I guess I don't have any other questions. Makes sense.
Gary?
All right. Do I need to read these findings?
Yeah.
Good. The Kozak, CUP 2023-93. The Planning Commission, finding of fact are the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit in a lakeside commercial district for an illuminated sign less than 1,500 feet from a dwelling unit per Article 14, Section 1403. Notice to the public and notice of the public hearing was mailed on May 30th, 2023, and published in the Yankton Press and Dakota, which is the legal newspaper for Yankton County, on June 2nd, June 9th of 2023. Did the applicant attend the public hearing? Yes, the
Yes, I did.
applicant did. The Planning Commission makes a recommendation to include that the conditional grant, that the grant of the conditional use be with the condition that a 0.3 foot candle limit be adhered to pursuant to, it looks like Article 11, Section 25. The Planning Commission takes into consideration written findings that ingress and egress already exist, that off-street and off right-of-way parking currently exists, refuse and services in that area are present, utilities are present, screening and buffering are present, that the sign, if any, proposed and exterior lighting is addressed in Article 14 and Article 27 of the conditions. The applicant stated light will be off when business is closed, which, as I understand, is currently 10 p.m. or is it 11 p.m.?
10. I mean, our hours might change if it gets busier, but by maybe an hour.
Maybe we should just say, instead of putting a time on it, we should just say when the business is closed, the light will be off. And the reason being is maybe they go till 11 and then now she's in violation of her CUP.
Exactly that, yeah. It
So-
should be when business.
So
We've
is it-
done,
Well,
we've done that before.
Yeah.
and
The
then make
findings of fact are when the business is closed.
Yes.
Okay, so as long as we're all agreeing it's when the business is closed, not tied to a certain time period.
So does
Recall-
it have to be off? Like, absolutely, is that like part of the CUP, it has to be off?
That's what it says.
Because I mean, pumping stuff next door, there is 10 times as bright. I don't think they shut that off.
It does seem
I,
odd, yeah.
I
'cause the
believe
gas
that
sta-
pump
both
and
gas
stump
stations
was,
there.
pump and stuff though was pre-Article 27, which is the
It's been there
zoning overlay.
forever.
So
Okay, what
Yeah.
about the
probably
camping
it's
place
prior
up
to
the
the
road?
zoning. I don't know, Gary, do you have
Sorry.
an answer to that? I believe those were pre-zoning ordinance, or at least pre-Article 27.
That
So
required yards and
wasn't
other
there.
open spaces are present.
So that's a yes, it has to be off after closing time.
That's what the findings of fact for the conditional use permit
And that's
by
fine. I was
the,
just, not that I want it to be on, just if I ever wanted that option.
when
I
they
was
walk,
just
when they
wondering.
walk out, flick the light off.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's a little ridiculous. I know the sign you're talking about, I live down there. Out of all the signs, I don't see that one as
A
being
problem.
So
Yeah.
it seems a little ridiculous to have the sign off for clause. in
When
there,
the
but-
sign next door is
It's on all
on
night.
all the time.
It's just
Yeah.
good advertising when we're closed, like, hey, there's fire nice. So
I'm sorry?
it'd be nice to keep it on, but if
The
that's
Highway 52
Yeah, in that
overlay,
district does
I
say-
believe that went in, was that 2018 or 2019? It went into effect, so prior to that, that wasn't a rule, but anything after that, it was. And we've often discussed that really should be looked at, Article 27, and maybe incorporated into lakeside commercial or updated, but that's the reason.
Maybe right
why.
after budget.
Yeah.
So the rule
Yeah.
was
So-
established in 18, is what you're
For,
saying?
for right now, turn it off
Okay,
when it's closed
okay.
until
And is,
that article is
is
reviewed.
there a way we can state that such that if we change that rule, then they're freed from this
If
clause?
it's no longer there, then they
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, then they don't
Okay.
have to worry about it.
Okay.
I think she reads the paper.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, do we vote on this today?
Yep.
We have a motion.
You want a voice vote?
Well,
Did we do
do we
a
have a
motion?
motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll move to approve the CUP.
Motion
Second.
by Commissioner Heidi, second by Commissioner Clemish. You want a roll call? I'll have a roll call vote.
Yes.
Dan,
Yes,
John,
Yes.
Wanda.
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Kettering. All right. On to Mr. Vetter and I'm sorry, item 11.
Applicant's applying for a conditional use permit for a two-family dwelling in moderate density. And so I believe they're in the audience. I got the findings of facts if needed.
My name is Mike Mace. I applied for a conditional use permit for the opportunity to be able to build a twin home down at the White Crane district. As of right now, we would like to pursue getting the conditional use permit. Based upon some of the talks we've had with the HOA, we'd like to work further with the HOA in the spirit of cooperation to determine what is going to be best for the development overall. So while we may or may not choose to go forward with the twin home, we just want to have that opportunity available to us should we choose to. We have a few $1,000s in plans and other items for planning, but we would prefer to work with the HOA so that this isn't a one and done deal. There's a lot of lots down there and I want to build a lot of houses, so.
Any
That's all I
public
got.
comment on this? I see a hand raiser.
Yep. Gotta have one or two.
Evening, everybody. Chuck Mackey. I live at 307 Lily Lane in White Crane Estates. I have concerns about this. I was got some stuff to hand out. So. Here's the plat.
Thanks, Chuck.
As it's currently filed. You have to open it up to the middle so that you have the. So when you open it up to the middle, you'll see where that comes in. Oops. Page 2, I'm sorry.
I went to the middle.
Go to page 2, 1 and 2,
Okay.
open them up. And in between it, you should be able to see violet. I'm sorry. You should be able to see violet
Yep.
on both sides.
Yep.
Okay, I do believe it's lot 20A and 20B. And then if you open it up, it is lot 31A and 31B. Those are existing twin homes that are out there
Okay.
that were built on the lot line.
Are 20A and 20B also?
Yes. There are
I'll
two
call them
existing.
duplexes.
Yes, they are. That's what they are. They're twin homes, duplexes, whatever you want to call them. They were built as twin homes, I think is what the builder originally said. And I know to the north of where 31A and B is that they had originally said they were going to build some there at one time, but that's been a while ago. I've been out there since 2013 when I bought my lot and I started building my house. And 14 moved into 15, so I've been out there for a bit. So
there's 29.
I'm just, I don't know why I'm concerned that with putting a twin home on one lot when our covenants that are on file with the county auditor say one house, 1 acre, 1 lot.
Yep.
Just a minute. I
We
have those
don't-
right here.
We don't look at county, or we don't look at the covenants, we.
I know, but they're on
do that.
file. They've been on
Yeah,
file since
yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
With the Register of Deeds.
Yes, yes. So, and all the realtors and everybody knows it. And it's, the thing is, I worry about it because I had to pay for an acre. I have an acre. I have a nice house I built on an acre, and everybody out there has built on an acre. So that was a requirement. I still believe it is a county requirement, correct? I do believe it has to do with the septic systems, but I know the state only requires 22,000 feet really, which is a half an acre. But for a while,
R2 is 1 acre, 40,000
yes, 1
square
acre for
feet.
that reason. And I know the state also has a statute, if you're gonna put a well on it, most people are using BY water, it's in the area, so. But if you do sink a well, I wouldn't recommend you using it, because there are too many septic systems out there now. But that's another day, so. Right now, that's where I look at it. I'm not sure.
Which lot are you?
I am on, let me see, where am I? I am lot 62, which is Chief White Crane's in my backyard. Go all the way down to the left corner there where it says lot 64, it's kind of screwy.
Mhm.
Lot 63 next to it's a little screwy, and then it's me. So. And I'm just concerned that once we start allowing the changing and zoning, for what reason, I really don't know. I wasn't privy to why it was why they requested a CUP, but the way the lots are laid out, you know, it may be something we could put up, say in phase 3, you know, up on Orchid where you have a lot of frontage across your lot versus the lot they're looking at is long and narrow. So if you put a twin home on that, that's going to actually pretty much fill the whole frontage of that lot. So, and I also am concerned about the septic. I've lived on a septic system for close to 30 years, and yes, it's the elephant in the room because it never not goes bad. It's just when it goes bad. So, and that's why we have that extra room. So, I do believe that's why R2 was written the way it was. So. And I apologize for not getting to the planning commission when they were going through this, but I was tied up, I'm out of town that day, so I couldn't, so. Do you have any questions for me, anybody? I'm just a concerned homeowner. We have the president of our HOA too, if you'd like to talk to him, so. And I'm concerned about setting a precedence, because once we start setting precedents, then it's difficult to step away from that. Just say it. Been there, done that. So,
Yep.
thank you for your time.
Mhm.
I did meet with Mr. Mason.
Wait,
It's not that,
you have,
Kevin Guthmiller,
that's for our at-home viewers.
and I'm president of the homeowners association. I did meet with Mr. Mace. I haven't gotten back to him because of extenuating circumstances, but it's the overwhelming majority of people do not want an additional twin home out there. And that's people that have already built and are established. All I'm doing is representing what the people are asking for, so,
Did you take a poll?
yes.
Do you have covenants against twin homes on that property?
Yes, on
Okay.
that particular
Okay.
lot.
So, you know, the county has, we don't keep an eye on the individual covenants, so even
Sure.
if we approve that, that's something that you guys would have to, if he has a covenant that says he can't do it on his property, you know, that's
We
something that
have
you
no
guys have
authority
to
over
enforce. Yeah,
covenants.
we do
can't-
not enforce
yeah,
covenants.
we can't
yeah.
enforce a covenant, and we
Yeah.
also can't take them away for
Yeah.
the builder.
Exactly,
Understood.
yeah. So,
Messenger.
you know, yeah, if we
The
approved it
messenger.
and he can't do it, he still is not allowed to do it on his property. But
Well,
we look at it, we'd look at our zoning ordinance and see if it falls in and if it meets the criteria of our zoning ordinance.
I think the difference between the twin homes that were built or authorized previously and the one that's being requested is the two before are frontage, as I see it, on Violet Drive.
And it's a wide.
And it's
Yeah.
and they're put in this way, not this way.
Exactly.
Well, we updated, Gary, when did we update our zoning ordinance for that shared walled structure? That was in October of 2022, did we not, for that? That's something, and
Yes, that was just last year.
then what did that say on for residential? I know, because we update?
Well, basically, yeah, we allow a
Yeah.
zero setback for in between, so.
Yeah, so that was a change that was requested for the county that we approved, that we
But that
previously.
doesn't affect the covenants if there's a covenant that says
No,
thou
that-
shalt
That
not.
doesn't affect them, but I guess for our consideration, you know, if it meets the criteria on us. So that means that if the lot meets the requirement and it has a shared wall, that, I guess, where I'm coming from.
I get that, but even if we approve it, if there's a covenant that says thou shalt not do it, good luck changing a covenant.
Yeah, I guess. I've
And
always-
I thought I heard him say there was a covenant that said you could not do that. So isn't that, why are we having this conversation?
Well, because we have a conditional use permit that we have to give an answer for. And so I think we need to look at this as, and Rob, I guess what would be your recommendation? Should we look at this, you know, without the knowledge of the covenant, since we don't enforce that, or how would you recommend we do this? Yeah, so we should just take the covenant.
So we can approve it and it means
Yeah,
nothing.
Well, if then he wants to build it, then you're gonna have to enforce your covenants on that. And we're out of it.
No, there's a hand raiser by Mr. Mays.
Mike Mace again. The only purpose for completing this process is just for the options available. In my discussions with Mr. Guthmiller, I believe that we will end up coming to an agreement on what's allowed and not allowed. I agree that the best place for a twin home is on the wider lots. When we looked at these lots, there was two that were zoned that are out in White Crane that allow twin homes. And that's why we specifically purchased one of those two lots. We do not want this to be a single thing. Me and Kevin have talked about that. My goal is to put up 4 new houses next year in the area.
How many?
4.
Oh.
We want to do 4 more. So
I
I'd
thought you
like to
said
get at least
14. Ooh, that's impressive.
That's 2025. And yes, actually, that is very close to our goal for 2025. But in reality, for now, I've been doing a lot of rebuilds in the Yankton area, working, a lot with Mike Hofer and Greg and whatnot. And we just want to make the step to the next one. And then I believe that we're going to be able to work with Kevin moving forward. One of the purposes for the CUP was that when we laid out our purchase agreement, it was that we had the option to build a twin home. The seller is attempting to pull out because the lot prices have been raised since we entered into our purchase agreement. So I have to complete at least this part of the process to be able to execute on my side of the purchase agreement to be able to close Friday morning at 10 a.m.
Gotcha.
So,
Then I guess we need a motion.
yeah,
So, I do got, this is zoned R2, correct? Okay. And the lot is 150 by 300 feet, and the 150 is the frontage to the road. The other lots, and these other twin home lots there, 31A, 31B, 20A, 20B, they both have a 300-foot frontage. So if you split those lots, you end up with 150 foot by 150 foot.
Right.
So are we splitting this lot in the future then too if we're doing a twin home?
If me and Kevin come to an agreement with the HOA to split it, yes, it would be 75 and 75. We meet all the.
Long and skinny.
Long and skinny.
But, okay, but the minimum lot width for an R2 lot is 100 feet. And so if you split the 150 feet, you're 75, so you would now need a variance on top of that.
and we have had people come in before with variances in the past in this exact situation that were
I think his
approved.
primary concern is he wants to
Yeah.
close on Friday.
So,
That
So-
would be a very accurate assessment of the situation.
Then I will read the conditional use permit findings on my tiny little thing. Applicant is applying for a conditional use permit for a two-family dwelling in a moderate density residential district per Article 7, Section 707. Notice of the public hearing was mailed on May 30th, 2023, and published in the Yankton Daily Press and Dakota, which is the legal newspaper in Yankton County, on June 2nd and June 9th of 2023. It says that the applicant did not attend the public hearing, but he's here today. He must not have attended the other hearing. The Planning Commission has recommended the grant of the conditional use permit based on the checklist that allows it. The Planning Commission has made written findings, including that ingress and egress is present, that off right-of-way parking and loading areas are not required. Refuse and service areas are present. The refuse service is present. Utilities are present. Screening and buffering are not required. Signage, none is proposed with the exception of the E911 address sign. Required yards and other open spaces are present. And general compatibility with adjacent properties. Another property is general compatibility with the adjacent properties and will not adversely affect the public interest. And now, do I have a motion?
I would also suggest generally you include that they have to meet state DA&R standards also.
And I would include that they being the applicant and the purchaser, would have to meet DNR standards, current DNR standards.
and you guys are okay with him applying for this, for his banking, knowing he's got to come to you to get approval to do this yet? Or what?
Maybe he'll just build a different house.
Well, a different house is just a building permit, which.
Yes,
I
but
mean,
this allows him to close because his purchase agreement is
your purchase is
requiring it.
For a twin home.
Our purchase agreement requires.
A purchase agreement, paragraph 16.
The twin home, which is the CUP. The CUP provides me that opportunity. Whether or not I choose to build it after I purchase it is up to me and approval by Kevin.
Okay.
Well,
So, So so you okay with that then, Chuck?
Yeah.
What, the
His-
reason that he's doing that then?
Chuck's picking up what I'm
Okay.
His purchase agreement provides that any other provisions, our offer is contingent on approval of twin home construction on subject lot. So he needs approval,
Okay.
doesn't mean he needs to build it.
Okay, so we're all on the same page here. Okay. I'd move approval.
Motion by Clemish,
I'll second that.
second by Markwart. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
Oh, and we're asking for a roll call vote.
Dan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Brian,
No.
Wanda.
Yes.
Motion pass. Congratulations.
Do I have a motion to go back into regular session?
So moved.
Moved
Second.
by Clemish, second by Heine. We're back in regular session. Item 12, do I have a motion to approve the June 2023 minutes?
I so move.
Second.
Moved by Markwart, second by Clemish. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All against, nay. Motion passes. Claims. Item 13.
Move approval of the claims.
Motion by Clemish,
Don't leave me
Second.
hanging, John.
second by
Second.
Heine.
Thanks, Ryan.
I was trying to find it.
All in
Make sure I
favor
didn't
say
have
aye.
questions.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. June 2023 payroll. Motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Clemish, second by Heine. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Transfer assigned dollars to the ambulance.
Question on this one, is this leftover funds from the ambulance when we purchased the new one and mounted the box?
This is, the rest of, because they got it finished and they're paying the rest of it, and that's the one you guys approved of earlier.
Okay, that's to finish for the new ambulance. Okay, I'd move approval.
Motion by Clemish,
Second.
second by Heine. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Abate the real estate taxes on 500 Merchant Street, Gayville, South Dakota.
Question on this one too, Patty. This is just the county owed portion. There's no special assessments from the city on this one?
Yeah, there's specials on there.
Okay.
But doesn't the
this-
person buying it have to pay the specials?
Well, I think
It's the
that,
county took it over.
so-
It's in the county's name.
so I guess I'm fine with paying the county portion, but I don't.
You
think
mean
we should
abating
necess-
the county
Well,
portion.
abating, but I don't think we should pay off like the Gayville special assessment since we gave it to the city of Gayville. I think they should do that. I guess, does that make sense?
Well,
Well-
not,
You're not paying it right, because
Okay.
their special assessments, then they're taking it over. You're
Okay.
paying yours.
We're just
So
doing
I
ours,
think we're just
right?
clarifying
Okay.
that we're not paying theirs.
Because I know when we did those ones for the city,
actually, we're
this,
not paying them.
okay,
We're
we're just,
abating them.
we're just abating
'Cause the
those
county- yeah.
taxes, okay. So, yeah, we lost a lot of money on almost $20,000 on a free house. That's an expensive free house. I'd make a motion to abate the 500 Kingsbury Street, Gayville, South Dakota, taxes in the amount of $17,787.32.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Markwart. All right. Now we're up to public oh, I'm sorry. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All against? Motion passes. Now we're up to public comment.
Bob?
Public comment. Public comment is closed. Commissioner updates. Mr. Clemish, anything?
No, next week, there's the second meeting for the county funding study. I believe it's on July 14th. John and I attended the 8-county and Gary was there. 8-county meeting in, what was it, Beersford. We're gonna host the next 8-county meeting, so I guess, Patty, did you wanna decide when we wanna do it and kinda let us know?
Well, I'll get with them.
Get with Gary and, kinda let us know. Are we thinking after state convention or before?
No, it'll be before.
Before? Before, okay. So we'll plan on doing that, we'll host it.
And maybe we can have some of those commissioners take
Yeah.
our walkthrough.
Yep, we could maybe do a tour or something if we want, so.
Mr. Markwart?
Not really anything. We did introduce the ambulance administrator this evening. One other thing we did, Rob and ambulance administrator, new administrator, and Troy and Brenda and a few people, we did an audit on our Quick Med billing system, and we have decided to terminate that proposal. Rob, did you get that letter sent out? So that's taken care of, so.
Sent out the same day.
Yep, good deal. So, we'll be moving that basically in-house for the time being, for the billing purposes, so.
Wasn't it like 1,500 that either hadn't paid or hadn't been billed?
Yeah, there was 1,482, basically calls that hadn't been billed over the last 3 years, so.
Excellent work. Mr. Heine?
I really don't have much to update with the holiday week here. It's been
That's fine.
kind of a shorter span here.
And I've had, as far as an update, I've had a meeting with the presiding judge, discussed some alternatives to juvenile detention, which are moving forward at a snail's pace. All right, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Patty, or have we set a date to go over budgeting yet? I mean,
No,
we
I
probably
thought
really need
after
to
we
do.
got done with executive
Okay,
and stuff.
okay. I'd make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2 subparagraph 1 and executive session for litigation pursuant to SDCL 1-25-3 subparagraph 3.
Second.
Tie.
I'm going to give that one to Mr. Heine.
Oh, I can't.
All right, we're in executive session. That's mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Do I need to sign something?
Yeah. Claims?
Where do you want me to do it?
Down here,
I declare or down here?
down here. Down there. Yep, those are yours.
Too bad we don't have any commissioners.
Make a motion to come out of executives. Make a motion to come out of executive session.
I would love to do that, but we don't have anybody to second because nobody came back.
Second the motion.
All right, Mr. Clemish has made a motion to come out of regular session. What?
Executive session.
I'll second.
And Mr. Heine has seconded that motion. Now I don't have a pen.
Here you go.
Vote.
And all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All against, say nay. Motion passes. Back out of executive session. As a result of executive session, there has been a agreement that 8 current employees will be receiving comp time and 1 recent retiree in a total amount of $42,430.64, which is the accumulated comp time difference for a half an hour that has been accrued over a period of 3 years. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All against, say nay. Aye. Motion passes. Items for next meeting. I think we're going to, 2 meetings from now, we're going to talk about the road district.
And next meeting is the dogs.
Pet
Oh,
Pet policy.
pet- the pet policy, pets in the workplace. Anything else?
I'd move that we adjourn.
No. Do you want to make some, for the budget?
Yes.
One
Oh,
day, one day we will, we'll meet 2 actually. One with the department heads and then the other in the afternoon will be with the,
What days are you looking at?
How soon?
I can tell you the 17th, 18th, and 19th of July and the 22nd through the 27th of July, I cannot do it.
I-
Other than that, I can work
think-
around most
and I'm
things.
gone the 21st and 24th.
I don't suppose we are able to do one this Friday yet, are we? Is that too soon? I know do Fridays work best for you still, Wanda?
I could do it after 1 or afternoon. I have
What-
I have
what's
a meeting
everybody
in the
else?
morning from 8 to
Well,
12.
Yeah, because we gotta get going.
I got
on
that,
this,
but I
so-
said I could do it in the
Yeah.
afternoon. I
would
can't
be
do it in the
fine-
morning.
I would be fine with that, to at least
Brian?
have the,
I actually might be in conflict on Friday here
okay.
in the afternoon.
Well,
Well, don't you have a, calendar on your magic computer?
I do, and it's saying I have a meeting already scheduled. I don't know if I can get that one moved.
okay. What about you, Jan?
I think maybe it'd be, I think to start in the morning
Okay.
with the department heads. 'Cause then we'll, with, the
14th?
organizations, they'll come like in the afternoon, like the city.
Yeah,
That's fine.
city and.
Do the department heads in the morning and then I'll skinny in when I can.
Well, he's got a conflict and you got a conflict.
Will
I have
Monday,
no, I'm flexible.
will Monday work?
I didn't bring my
Monday
calendar.
will
I
not
didn't
work
know we
for
were
me.
scheduling.
Monday won't work
Monday
for
the
me.
10th.
I
And
know
then-
Tuesday will not because I'll be in court all day.
Wednesday, I could probably do it. We do have that county funding study, but, or Friday,
Next Friday,
14th.
I can do next Friday.
Okay,
I can do next Friday in the afternoon.
okay. What, would you be okay if we started in
You
the
start
morning?
in the morning and
Okay.
I'll just come in.
Cause really, it'll just be them, hey, here's our budget, okay?
yeah, it's
And
apartment
And we
heads.
compile them, and then we all go through them later.
Yeah,
On the
That's fine.
14th, start in the morning
Yeah,
then?
everybody has their wishes and then the money comes in and we start crushing dreams.
Do you,
That's what happens.
want to start like at 9 or
I'd,
10?
I'd say 9, just, and then it'll be, I'd say 9 right in the morning.
And then
If
I'll
that's
call
okay with
the-
you guys, just,
And then I will call the
Yeah.
organizations and see
Yeah.
if they can come in the afternoon.
and if we could,
Do you want to
We-
take a lunch?
yeah, we'd probably working
Half
lunch,
hour.
yeah. Yeah, and if we could have them, stacked up so there's no
Like-
waiting time, cause I
Like
know
every
sometimes-
15 minutes. I
No,
don't think Thrive needs 40 minutes to read me a PowerPoint.
I would say less than that because
I'd say
some
10
of them,
minutes at the most.
some of
Fine.
them, like the contact center is 4 minutes.
Well, that's,
Some of them
and
are
that's
bigger,
fine,
some of them
but,
just stack them up.
but I
and-
don't think we
have
need a
'em.
PowerPoint.
No, they don't, none of them usually do that.
Thrive does,
Well,
always. And they read it to us. Because
And
we
why is
can't
that a
read.
budget item?
Who does?
Why is Thrive a budget item? Don't we donate a certain amount every year to them?
And they want
No,
more.
He won't be here.
no.
They're always asking for money.
Generally, and they're not required, but, like the pathways, the Mead, the library, Thrive, a lot of times they
Come in
do come
anyway.
in, but they're not required. I think she's talking department heads, right?
No, the department heads are the morning. They don't give, they just say, here's my budget. And I increased it for this reason.
Yeah, I think the other guys come in at meetings usually. is
They
when
come all
in.
the time.
Yep.
So, the 14th,
Yep,
for everybody who wants to come and sit in on budgeting.
most important
Starting at
meeting.
9, for
And then
department heads, like the sheriff, everybody else at
And
1,
then the next
starting at
meeting-
1.
Then the next meeting is when you'll decide, because I'll have to publish the,
That's fine.
Well,
Do we do it during regular meeting, or do we do a special meeting?
you can do a special meeting or do, yeah.
you'll need 10 days notice from that day, right?
No, I have to publish it twice in August.
Okay, so yeah, if we get it done on the 14th, okay.
Yeah, but if we get it done the 14th, and then we can go through it on the 1st.
Okay, we'll have a meeting on the 14th, and we'll have another on the 18th, then, yeah, meeting on the 1st. Yep.
But you don't want to do it in a budget meeting, do you? Or, I mean,
How
a
about the
regular
14th
commission
and the
No,
28th?
I think it'd need to be a separate one. We'd have to have a separate meeting where we go through that all.
How about the 14th and the 28th?
28, that'd work. Or 28th or 27th, either one of those.
I won't be at the 27th.
28th,
I
Friday?
already said, that whole week, I cannot be there. I will be in a jury trial. So you can all go on without me.
'Cause it-
You give us
We
our
might
blessings
actually
before,
have to do that, if you're okay with that.
We've-
Just give us your guidance.
Because it's not final approval. The final approval of the budget will be the last meeting in September,
Okay.
because it has to
Yeah.
be approved by October 1st.
So you got plenty of time to
Yeah.
look it over and tell us what we need to
Yeah,
change.
we could probably go into well, I guess the only thing,
Well,
When do you want to start on the 28th?
well, is
Or-
that
or-
okay with you, or do you wanna go
That
to
can't
like
be
the
the
4th?
afternoon.
Or do you wanna go to like
I
August
can't,
4th?
it doesn't matter, because I can't be there. Whether it's morning,
What,
afternoon, or night,
what
don't
about,
matter.
what about August 4th? Would that be better?
I'll look at my calendar. I didn't know we were planning this, or I would have brought it.
Sure.
And I don't keep it
Okay,
on
so then
my,
let's just do the 14th and let's
28th?
adjust at Wanda's discretion.
We can, yeah, we can do the
How about-
14th
yeah.
and then readjust, yep, I like that.
We'll
Is
do
that okay?
14th and figure out the next meeting. when.
Sounds like a plan, guys. All right, motion to adjourn?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye.